In the land of Teyvat, there is an undeniable truth, that gods oversee the world itself. While humanity knows and sees some of these gods known as archons, there are those more powerful that dwell above, in the heavens as we see, in an island in the sky, known as Celestia. It is a land of divine power where mortals who have achieved greatness can ascend into godhood. While Celestia seems like a dreamland made up by religious fools, one need only look to the sky to see this mythological land, ever present and hanging above the world of Teyvat. Its existence signifies the rule of those above the world's mortal confines. The very gods who rule over the archons, and by extension, the seven nations. According to Barbatos, it is by the sacrifice of the primeval gods that the cosmos came into existence. Pangu gave his blood to form rivers and seas. The gods sacrificed Purusha and cut his body to pieces and then fashioned all living beings with those parts. The brain of the giant Ymir became the clouds. Their sacrifices seeded life in the unliving cosmos. I believe it is the primeval gods themselves that live in Celestia and rule over Teyvat from behind the archons, while the archons themselves are elements, people, or animals from Teyvat who have ascended into godhood. Thus, Celestia is but the home of the primeval gods who actively look for those worthy to become gods themselves by providing visions to humans who have potential to become gods. However, this is but speculation, as the great secrets of Celestia can never be spoken. The archons themselves go to great lengths to ensure its secrets. Humanity has been around for over 3,000 years, yet no one, save for the traveler in Paimon, even heard of the term allogene. It is the term the gods use to describe those who have the potential to achieve godhood. And it is likely only by the knowledge of the Tsaritsa and her probable plan to revolt against the primeval gods that the Harbingers even heard of the Gnosis. Yet these secrets beg a question. If attaining godhood is a secret kept by the gods, then why provide visions to the denizens of Teyvat? According to Barbatos again, those who possess visions are capable of ascending to godhood by entering Celestia, yet only 2 have been recorded to have ascended: the Lion-Toothed Knight Vennessa and the Sword Master Guhua. It is possible that many more may have ascended, but according to Dr. Edith, who has spent her lifetime researching Celestia, mortals must perform great heroic feats in their life in order for them to ascend to Celestia. It would be near impossible for these tales not to be recorded. Thus this may not be an actual requirement to ascend. Not only that, but despite Barbatos saying that those with visions are the ones who can ascend, we do know that visions are not required to ascend to godhood, as Barbatos himself was not a mortal but a small wind spirit before he ascended to godhood. Thus, he did not have a vision. If a vision is not the primary requirement to ascend to godhood, perhaps there is another requirement. While visions do provide the capabilities of becoming a god, visions are mere magical foci with its main purpose is to allow the user to manipulate an element of Teyvat, and it is up to the user's own potential as to how a vision is wielded, as no 2 vision users have the exact same abilities. Not many are given visions by the gods, and those who are bestowed visions are often well known or are capable of great feats. However, it is not because those who can manipulate the elements are rare. In fact, many are capable of this even without a vision, as it is possible to manipulate the elements using a counterfeit vision known as a delusion. However, unlike visions, they carry a heavy burden that the wielder must pay, but this proves that many who do not have a vision may still have the ability to wield elemental power. Then if it is not due to the rarity of those who can manipulate the elements, nor is it required to have a vision to ascend to godhood, then what is the primary requirement to ascend? We know that the current Archons are all powerful beings, and it seems the primary requirement for ascending is to have an immense power, or at least the potential for immense power. For even the weakest of gods are capable of obliterating cities, domains, and exterminating life on an immense scale, as seen with the Salt God, who upon her death killed nearly all her followers. Becoming an Archon also increases the power of these gods, as we also know that the Archons gain power based on their worshippers, and that the more worship they receive, the more powerful they become. As seen with Barbatos, who had become the weakest god after his resurfacing, as he had been asleep for 500 years, and has lost many worshippers since then. Thus, Archons are most likely more powerful during times of calamity, as the people will start to look to them in times of need. And the Archon War seems merely a way to filter out the weaker gods, to ensure the strongest gods would rule and receive worship. One more proof that immense power is all that is required to ascend to Celestia is with Andreas, the Wolf King of the North. Many centuries ago, this King of Wolves had a physical body, and was blessed with powers by an ancient Archon. Though he does not possess a vision, he was one who was qualified to become the Animal Archon after the death of Decarabian, the god of storms. He declined this position due to an Archon needing to govern over a nation in Teyvat. He believed himself unfit for the role due to his lack of love for humanity. However, upon his death, he may have ascended to Celestia and returned to Teyvat as the Wolf King we know today. The same case as Vennessa, who returned to Teyvat in the form of a falcon, becoming the Falcon of the West, two of them becoming part of the four winds of Mondstadt. It is also seen that both Zhongli and Venti are still immensely powerful even without their gnosis, as they are both elemental beings before they became gods. Thus, it is not likely due to the blessing of the gnosis that they became powerful, but that they were already powerful before they ascended, and the gnosis only added to their already impressive power. Lastly, with the case of Decarabian, it seems that not all the Archons are in the good graces of Celestia, as Archons may be killed and those who work to kill them may take their place. It seems that Celestia is merely looking for powerful beings to rule over Teyvat, regardless of their disposition of the world. This may be why the Tsaritsa of Snezhnaya is wanting to rebel against Celestia, in order to seat a more benevolent god in their place. As we know from Tartalia's voice lines, the Tsaritsa is actually a gentle soul. Perhaps even as the Cryo Archon, she doesn't possess the power to bring about a peaceful world, and she wants the power of Celestia to achieve her goal. Or perhaps they are preparing for the Abyss. As we know, it too is corrupting those of immense power for their own destructive schemes. Such is the case with Gold and the Traveler's sibling. Perhaps the denizens of Teyvat are caught in between a war of primeval gods, and everyone is unaware of the great dangers soon to arrive. Much is still unknown about Celestia, but with the Traveler's sibling in the clutches of the Abyss, will the Traveler be worthy to enter the land of the gods?